Tired of guessing how many calories you need to eat to see real results? You're not alone. Today, I'm breaking down the exact steps and science-backed formulas that I use to help my clients lose body fat and build lean muscle. We'll start with your resting metabolic rate, then determine the specific impact activity should have on your daily calories. Calculating the perfect calorie range for your body is going to help you finally get the results you've been working so hard for. If you're trying to lose weight, I'll show you how to create a caloric deficit without hurting your metabolism. If you're looking to add muscle and improve your overall strength, we'll calculate the calorie increase that you need to actually gain weight. But my specialty is helping women achieve a true body recomposition, where you do both at the same time, and it's going to send your metabolism through the roof. I'll show you how to balance your calories if recomp is your goal. By the end of this video, you're going to have a clear understanding of your own resting metabolic rate and the number of calories you specifically need for your individual goal. Okay, first, we're going to calculate your resting metabolic rate, or your RMR. Your RMR is the number of calories your body needs to maintain basic physiological functions. You know, breathing, circulation, cell reproduction, even when you're at rest. This represents the minimum energy requirement necessary to sustain your body processes without any additional physical activity. How to calculate your resting metabolic rate, or your RMR? There are two main ways to calculate your RMR. The first method is direct calorimetry, which involves measuring the heat your body produces in a controlled environment. It's super accurate, but it's also really expensive, and it's usually only used in research laboratory settings, so maybe not the best for every day. The second method is way more practical for everyday use. These are predictive equations. These equations give us a really good estimate of your resting metabolic rate based on factors like your age, your sex, your weight, and your height. So it's going to take all those together. There are two that are really the most commonly used. These are the Harris-Benedict equation and the Mifflin-St Jeor equation. These are really formulas that are going to give you a reliable estimate of your resting metabolic rate. By inputting your personal data into those equations, you can get a really good idea of your baseline caloric requirements. I personally tend to use the Mifflin-St Jeor equation when I'm working with women. This equation is going to take your weight in kilograms multiplied by 10, plus your height in centimeters multiplied by 6.25, minus your age in years multiplied by 5. Then you subtract that number, from that number, 161. So your resting metabolic rate is that 10 times your weight in kilograms, plus 6.25 times your height in centimeters, minus 5 times your age in years, minus 161. Okay, let's take one of my new online fitness and nutrition coaching clients as an example. Michelle is 45 years old. She weighs 170 pounds and is 5'6". So, step one, convert measurements to metric units. For height, convert first to inches and then to centimeters. So 12 inches per foot and 2.5 centimeters per inch. So with Michelle as my example, I multiply 170 pounds by 0.4534 to get 77.08 kilograms. For height, at 5'6", I'm going to break that down. So feet go down to inches. So 60 inches for her 5 feet plus the extra 6 inches gives me 66 inches. Multiply that by 2.54 to get centimeters. So that's 167.64 centimeters. Step 2, plug the numbers into the equation. Then we are going to run out the math. So in Michelle's example, resting metabolic rate is going to be 770.8 plus 1,047.75 minus 225 minus 161. That gives her an overall resting metabolic rate of 1,432 calories per day. But that resting metabolic rate doesn't include any physical activity or movement. So movement you do throughout the day burns extra calories. These can be broken down into two groups. So we have EAT. This is exercise, activity, thermogenesis. And those are the calories that you're burning through structured exercise like workouts or sports. The second one is n.e.a.t, N-E-A-T. So this is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. The calories that you're burning through everyday activities like walking around, fidgeting, or other non-structured movements. Let's start with your n.e.a.t, so your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This one can be a little tricky, but start by thinking about your lifestyle outside of specific workouts. Here's a chart that can help. Okay, so you can estimate your activity level or your n.e.a.t. If you're totally sedentary, you would take 10 to 20% of your resting metabolic rate. So in Michelle's case, that would be 143 to 286 calories. If you're lightly active, it's 20 to 30% of your resting metabolic rate. If you're moderately active, bring that up to 30 to 40%. And if you're very active, on the go all of the time, 40 to 50% of your resting metabolic rate. Choose the category that best describes the typical day for you. So sedentary, again, is mostly sitting. So if you have a desk job, minimal movement, you're not doing very much, that would be the first class. Lightly active, some movement, some like light walking, household chores, but not a lot. Moderately active. So this means now you're regularly moving. You have a job where you stand a lot, or you're very active, running after 2- and 3-year-olds, or doing regular like household chores, but very actively. And for those highly active people, these are people that have a super crazy active lifestyle. They're doing manual labor, they're moving all of the time. You just can't slow them down, okay? I include the step goal as, so when I'm looking at how to do this, step goal is really part of your n.e.a.t, so that non-exercise activity number. And I like to encourage women to take at least 8,000, preferably more than 10,000 steps a day. As it stands, Michelle makes sure that she gets at least 8,000 steps each day. While she works behind a computer for a few hours each day, she's also more active with her kids and her husband in the afternoons and evenings. I put her right toward the middle of that lightly active category, and I'm going to estimate that her n.e.a.t is about 350 calories. From there, we're going to talk about your exercise activity thermogenesis, so the EAT. To do this, the most accurate way would be to use a fitness tracker, like my handy Apple Watch, that takes into account your heart rate during exercise. So Apple Watch, Fitbit, Garmin, there's lots of them on the market. Over the course of a week, so track it for a week and determine how many calories you're burning from all of your workouts for the whole week. Then I'm going to do some estimations based on the custom training plan that I create for women. So when I'm working with a client. For Michelle, as an example, I have her strength training 4 times a week with approximately 45 minutes per session. Additionally, she's doing 2 cardio sessions each week that are about 30 minutes per session. With your strength training, I'm estimating that we're burning about 5 calories per minute, and with cardio, we're burning about 8 calories per minute. So if we put those together, 4 strength training sessions times 45 minutes each gives us 180 minutes of strength training, and 180 times 5 calories per minute is 900 calories burned. 2 cardio sessions at 30 minutes each is going to give us 60 minutes of cardio. 60 times 8 calories per minute gives us 480 calories she is burning with cardio. So in a whole week, Michelle is burning about 1,380 calories from activity. Divide that by 7 and you get a daily calorie burn from activity of about 197 calories. That's her exercise activity thermogenesis. Let's take a moment here to compare her exercise activity thermogenesis to her non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Her n.e.a.t, 350 calories, and her EAT is 197 calories per day. This shows you how important daily movement really is. Of course, we have to do strength training, and I want you doing exercise and cardio, but that cannot overcome an inactive lifestyle. Your daily activity is very important. Okay, let's put this all together. Remember, Michelle is 45 years old, weighs 170 pounds, and her resting metabolic rate is 1,432 calories. Her exercise activity calories burned is 197, and her non-exercise activity burned in a day is 350 calories. When we total this up, we get her total daily calories needed to maintain her current weight. So 1,433 calories plus 197 and 350 is going to give us a calorie range of 1,980 calories per day. That's called your Total Daily Energy Expenditure, or your TDEE. Many women are shocked when they find out that the total calories your body actually needs to maintain is this high. So grab a piece of paper and a pen or your phone and let's do these calculations for you. First, we're going back to that resting metabolic rate. Okay, 10 times your weight in kilograms plus 6.25 times your height in centimeters minus 5 times your age in years minus 161. Now determine your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Here's that chart again. If you're sedentary, 10 to 20% of your RMR. If you're lightly active, 20 to 30% of your RMR. If you're moderately active, 30 to 40. And if you are highly active, always on the go, moving crazy amounts, 40 to 50% of your RMR. Estimate your activity and multiply that to get your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Finally, either track your workouts for a week, or if you want to estimate, you can use the numbers that I use. And I suggest taking into account your specific strength training minutes and multiplying that by 5 calories burned per minute, or your cardio sessions or sports at 8 calories burned per minute. And I mean all out for cardio, not just walks in that calculation. That's going to give you your exercise activity thermogenesis. Take your RMR plus your n.e.a.t and your eats. And that's going to estimate your total calories needed in the day to maintain your current weight. Now it's time for the adjustments. If your goal is to lose weight, you're going to be consuming less than your total daily estimated energy. Okay, now you have the calories your body needs to maintain your current weight. Let's talk about your specific goals. If your goal is all-out fat loss, you can take a calorie deficit that's a bit bigger. I never recommend going under 1,200 or 1,300 calories a day for women. You're going to ruin your metabolism and you're going to really start burning muscle, which is terrible for our metabolism if you go too low. But if you can take about 400 to 500 calories below your TDEE, that's going to help you with all-out fat loss. That's a pretty extreme diet, and I wouldn't stay on that for a very long period of time. If your goal is to build muscle, start with a 200 calorie or so surplus. See how your body responds to that after 2 or 3 weeks. And you can be working up over time from there. If you begin gaining too much weight, you can trim it back. But if you're gaining muscle at the rate you're looking for, keep it there. If not, start slowly stepping it up. Then our sweet spot. If your goal is body recomposition, and that's the goal of most of the women I work with, you're going to take about 200 to 300 calories lower than that TDEE. So start there. Maintain that for 2 to 3 weeks. I found that this is really a sweet spot where your body begins giving up fat, but you're also adding some muscle. And make sure those calories, that at least 30% of your diet in that situation is from protein. Okay, there you have it. Now you can calculate your resting metabolic rate. You can calculate how many calories your body needs each day, and depending on what your goals are, you know how to shift those calories to make it work best for you.